What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is actually inspired by the fact that because I'm not a Canadian citizen or a Canadian resident yet, I can't work. But I have worked in the past, and today I'd like to actually talk about the struggles that I've dealt with because I'm a disabled person wanting to work. Now, again, one thing I always tell people to keep in mind when watching my videos is that this is strictly my experience, strictly what I've dealt with. Not everybody has the same experiences that I do. So, things could be different for other people, and other people could have better or different advice. So, always check your sources, and don't base don't base your experience off of mine. That's all I'm saying. So, of course, with any job that you find, you're going to have one of two different types of managers. You're either going to have a really nice, really understanding boss, or you're going to have somebody who doesn't care, doesn't, and just sees you for who they think you are just by looking at you, and they base things off of that. And I'm going to talk about both of those today, which actually leads me to my first tip. Always make sure that you express, hey, just because I'm in a wheelchair, my example, or just because I have this going on for me, or this, doesn't mean that I can't do certain things. Because obviously you're going to want to go through with management and let them know what you can and cannot do. And luckily for me, working with the company that I last worked with, the managers that I started with literally did that with me. They literally said, okay, we'll go through as the week progresses, and we'll see what you can and can't do during these certain days. So my last job that I had, which I'm not going to mention any business names, because I still value the companies that I worked for, just didn't like some of the people. The last company I worked for, I started off with the most amazing bosses because they didn't see me for just the person in a wheelchair. They didn't see me as somebody who couldn't do things. And I appreciated them so much. When I first started with the company, I had visited them numerous times beforehand and actually befriended one of the bosses before I even started there. And so we had a great relationship before I even started there. And that's something that I valued from that experience, was having connections with people before I even started and letting people see me for who I am. Like, I would show up at work and they would say, okay, today, this is what we're going to do. And first and foremost, they didn't just say, this is what we're going to do, put me in a spot, and then say, okay, there you go, do it. No, they actually sat with me or stood with me and walked me through the whole thing and watched to see how easy or difficult certain things were for me. And another great thing that they did was when they noticed something was difficult for me, they would ask, is this too hard for you to do? And lucky for me, I was then able to take a moment and think, okay, this way of doing it is too difficult, but let me see if there's another way I can do it. And sometimes there were ways that I could do things differently, sometimes there weren't. But the great thing about my bosses then was that if something didn't work, they helped me find something that did. And they didn't stop me just because something took longer for me or I had to do something differently than everybody else did. I loved that about my first bosses. Now, unfortunately, with the company that I last worked for, my bosses changed every 6 months to a year. And because of that, I got some not so nice bosses after a while. And they unfortunately didn't take the time to get to know me and see what I could and could not do. They based one interaction with me on my whole performance. They saw one interaction and they said, nope, she's too slow. They cared more about the productivity than letting me do what I was happy doing and letting me actually feel like a valued team member. And they just put me in a spot that I just basically sat. And I mean, I still worked, but it it was very boring at that point, and I just that's when I started to hate the job. So my biggest thing is to say advocate for yourselves. You know, make sure that you speak up and let people know, hey, I can do this, or hey, I'm not able to do this, or hey, can I try to do this way instead? It's not always going to work because you're not always going to get nice, understanding bosses, but you know, sometimes it does, and that's great. When it doesn't, the best thing you can do is keep pushing, keep trying, and hopefully eventually educate them. But sometimes they just can't be educated, which is really unfortunate. But that's what I've learned from this. Another thing about advocating for yourself, if you have any, for lack of a better way to say it, special needs, special accommodations, special recommendations that you need in order to complete the job, make your bosses aware before you even start the job. Okay? I usually tell people when you go in for an interview, let them know right away, hey, I have this going on for me. I just want to make you aware, but this is how I handle it. This is what works well for me. And we can always sit down together and figure out something else if that doesn't work for you guys. Because, like I said, open communication with your bosses is going to be the best thing for you. Making sure that you let your bosses know, hey, I need this, or hey, can you help me with this? They're going to thank you for that, because if you get put into a situation where you can't handle it, no. Just no. You don't want to be put into that situation. So don't let yourself get put into that situation. have an open mind about things, keep the lines of communication open and running and everything so that everybody knows what's going on and you can talk it over with your bosses and make a game plan before you even start there. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. Didn't totally do a lot of prep for this video, and I thought there'd be more to it, but no, it's just keep lines of communication open, be open and honest with your bosses, and keep pushing. You know, if you get those evil bosses that are like, nope, I want you over there, nope, I want you doing this, nope, you can only do this. Take it from me. Don't let them get to you like that. Don't let your boss tell you no. Don't let your boss tell you you can't do something when you know you can. Okay? I fought for years with this one company. And like I said, I hated it after a while cuz I just kept getting the bosses that were like, "Nope, nope, 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 nope." But you know what? The best thing you can do is just keep trying. So, like I said, short, sweet video, but hopefully this helped you guys, those of you looking for jobs. If anybody else has any comments or suggestions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section, obviously. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!